Hey guys, so this is my first YouTube video, so a momentous occasion, but instead of blabbering on about what I'm going to do on this channel, I'm just going to say really quick, I'm going to be focusing a lot on little flying things like this, big flying things like this, and some remote controlled cars like this. So, if that's what you're interested, come here, watch these videos. They might be a little bit of help for you. But for the first video, I am going to do a review of this little one right here, because I just got it last week, and I know these are kind of going crazy all over the internet. It's a tiny Whoop. And for those of you who don't know, it's based off of Blade Inductrix, and you can buy them and you just stick a camera on them and it pretty much makes a Tiny Whoop. I think Tiny Whoop is actually a brand name that's done this, but that's just what they're referred to, and they're really fun. I'm currently waiting on the goggles that are going to let me fly this. And I know that a lot of you guys, when you see this stuff, you're going to be searching all over YouTube and the internet for cheapest ways to do it. I know, because that's what I did. That's a lot of, you don't want to get into something that you're not quite sure about and spend like a lot of money on it. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to build one of these and fly it FPV for under $70. Let's go. Alright guys, so first off, what we have here is a Furibee, that's F-U-R-I-B-E-E, F-36. This is the platform, this is the little drone. We'll get to the camera in just a minute. But pretty much what you get is a little box. Let me go grab the box. Okay guys, so this is the box. Let me focus this right here. Okay, there's the box. It's not very big. Here's a 9-volt battery. For comparison, obviously it looks a lot bigger in video, but go grab yourself a 9-volt battery, hold it up to a box, and you'll be able to see that the box is just really small. Also compared to the actual quadcopter itself, it's like, my goodness, this thing is tiny. What I was expecting when I got this was something, relative size to my Hubsan, but no, that's not what I got. I got this tiny little thing. The problem is with these cheap little drones is you get a cheap little controller, and I know a lot of people have issues with this. Some people like to pinch. I'm not one of those people. I like to have my thumbs on them, and what I find is that these rounded, let me kind of focus this in here. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, these rounded tips, there we go, right here, even though they have those little grippies on them, they're kind of hard. Like, my thumbs just kind of want to slip off them when I'm flying it and stuff. Other than that, it's decent. I mean, I got this little drone and this controller for an extra set of props, a charger, and a screwdriver, for $10. So, $10. Okay, I'm putting that like right here on the screen. I'm going to put all the prices so far right here on the screen. So $10 right there. That's for these two things. So if you're not going to have a problem with the little controller, just I would highly recommend this. It gets higher ratings power wise than both the JJRC H36, I believe is what it's called. Or maybe that's the Red Paws. I can't remember, honestly. I just know this one's great. The Eachine E010 is really good, but the problem is when you stick this little camera on it, even though this camera is super, super light, it weighs down, and so when you come in for a turn, it kind of sinks down. And that's no good, if you're trying to make tight maneuvers without hitting the ground, because that's the one thing I find on this, is if you do hit the ground, it's an immediate flip over, just like that. So, next thing is the camera. It just pops off, 2 little clips like that. This drone actually came with, find it here, this little canopy on it right here. And so I, scrapped that obviously. I got this. It came in a tiny little box right here. This, the 9-volt battery probably couldn't even fit in this box. So it's tiny. I got it off of Amazon. I'll link in the description. I'm going to link in the description to all of this stuff so you can get it. I think it cost me $20 off of Amazon, and I'm sure if you wanted to go on like Banggood or something, you could get it for a little bit cheaper. But where I'm a Prime member, I get 2-day free shipping, and it's super fast. And I wanted to get this thing here because I was just super excited. So pretty much what you get is just this little box, and it comes with this camera in it. And let me see if I can find. Yeah, I can't. Anyways, but these little cables. Let me focus this because you got to see this. There, maybe you guys can see that right there. Okay, right here on the end, had a little connector, and you just snip that off with, a pair of scissors or whatever. Strip them down and solder it to the positive and negative terminals. Let me zoom in, and you can probably see it just a little bit clearer. Right there, you can see the positive and negative. If you happen to get the same drone as me, you can probably just use this. If not, you can plug your battery in like this and see, which one is positive and which one's negative, and then just solder to those terminals. And if not, there's no way this is going to be able to focus on it, but on the underside of the chip right here, it says B positive and B negative, so you can just use that too. Oh, battery, that's the other thing I was going to talk about, is the battery on this thing. Some people are not happy with the flight time, but I am. I'm getting close to 5 minutes of flight time just off this one battery. I think it takes maybe a half hour to charge. It's really great. I also have the batteries from my Hubsan, and they're a little bit bigger, but they fit. Now, the problem with that is going to be, since they're a little bit bigger, they weigh just a little bit more. And you wouldn't think that that's a huge deal, but you would be surprised. I can put this one on full charge, maneuver this thing, it works great. Fantastic. When I get down to low battery on this, it starts to kind of wobble a little bit just because of the weight of the camera. Now, I've tested this, I've taken the camera off. It loses that wobble on a low charge if I don't have the extra weight of the camera on it. So when you put the Hubsan batteries in it, it does that, wobble even on a full charge. And so that's something you gotta be careful. If you're gonna get aftermarket batteries, which I recommend you do, try to find something maybe that lasts a little bit longer, because 5 minutes is not gonna be enough to get your FPV fix in for the day. But try and get something that's very similar size, and maybe even smaller if you could, because smaller, that's going to be way better. I'll link to an extra set of batteries for this drone. So after you solder those, pretty much all you have to do is take right here on the sides. Let me focus it. I don't know if it will, but yeah, you can see those clips kind of, and it just clips over the side, just like that right there, and it clips over the other side too. Now, modifications. Must-have modification is the antenna. This little antenna I've got sticking up right there, it needs to be sticking out, otherwise you're gonna get poop range flying around your house, and you don't want that. So, what I did was I just took a little screwdriver, and the little screwdriver that came in the kit, actually, I don't know where it went, but I just worked it back and forth until I poked a little hole through right here, and then you can just push the antenna up through, maybe, if you know how to do it. There, just through the little hole like that, and clip it on, and literally that's all you have to do. So, quick recap here. Buy the drone, buy the camera, cut the ends of the camera off, solder them to the drone, poke the hole through here, stick the antenna out, clip it on, you're done. Ready to fly. And this thing, it flies great, let me tell you. Another modification you're going to want to make is just, I know you might be a little bit nervous about tearing this stuff apart, but trust me, it's super easy to do this one. All you do, I already have the back popped off, so there's no batteries in here. You take this screw out, and you take this screw out, and then it comes off, and all you do is just take the same screwdriver, poke a little hole in this black plastic part, and then take the antenna that's inside and just push it up through. And that's going to increase your range drastically, like drastically. I think Other than that, I don't know if there's much to it, other than I've heard that if you get the props that only have 3 blades, it gives you more thrust. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to test that out, but I would highly recommend this to you guys. I'll link it all in the description, and other than that, oh, and the goggles, okay. I can't forget about the goggles. The goggles are the most important part. So, with these goggles, I just found them on Banggood. I was going to get them on Amazon, but the problem is that on Amazon, they're so much more expensive. I don't know how Banggood manages to get such cheap prices on these things, but they're great. They're quality tested. I ordered it. It's a little bit slower shipping, but it should be good. And I know some people tend to hate on these particular goggles, but I'm like, they're cheap. I got them for $40, I think, and versus 60 something on Amazon. But they're not the cheapest you can get, but they're the cheapest for the best quality. I've done a lot of research, and I think that these are going to be good. Now, we'll wait till I get them, and we'll test it out, and I will tell you guys, what I think for sure, but I think it's going to be great. Okay, so you get those for $40, and you get the drone, and the controller, and the camera, and all that for $30. $30, okay? Great deal. Great deal. So 40 plus 70 or 30 is 70. So there you go. That is how you get your Tiny Whoop built for $70 or less. I say less because you might be able to find some of these parts for cheaper, but I actually got them from a little bit more expensive places. So I think that's it, and I will just show you guys. I can't do any DVR. I can't even do any DVR when I get the goggles because these goggles do not have the DVR capability. But I can definitely just fly it around and show you guys how it kind of flies. So let's get into that. Alright, so here we go. Just bind it up, turn on the controller, let it beep once, beep twice. You don't even need to move the sticks around or anything. And the very first thing I notice when I take it off is just it's very, very stable. I mean, I can fly it right here pretty dang close to the camera, and it needs to be trimmed out just a little bit, but other than that, it's very stable. It does some good little maneuvers here. There is a flip button. All you do is you just press the right stick in and then do that, and it flips. And if you give it a little bit of a left stick before you do it, you can do it without losing altitude. That's pretty much all there is to it. It flies really good, and I think, well, I could sit here and hover it for 5 minutes or something and do a test exactly to see how long it does, but I don't know if I have time to do that. But you get the gist of it. Flies really good. It has dual rates, and it has this return to home button. So this is the yaw on rate 1. You can see it's decent, but you put it on rate 2, and it's a little bit faster. I don't know if you can see that. Back on rate 1 now. If you press the left stick in, it does the return to home. So it just pretty much flies off in a random direction. I don't know exactly what they were thinking when they did that. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty easy to fly. Let's see if I can show you some maneuvers. Just take it right through here. So, as you can tell, even with the smaller controller, it's pretty easy to control, and those little prop guards protect it pretty dang good. So, I think that's just about it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. All the links to everything in this video will be put in the description. That should be all you need to get yourself going. FPV Mini Whoop for under $70. Thanks.